The biggest pet food disaster in American history didn't happen in the dog aisle. It happened in a wet cat food factory. One factory quietly making food for nearly 100 different brands. When something went wrong on that production line, it went wrong on shelves everywhere all at once. Cats started dying of kidney failure across the country, and owners had no idea the different brands in their carts were the same food in different cans. We went through FDA recall records, federal court filings, and news archives covering 9 of the most popular wet cat foods in America. What we found includes a recall that pulled 60 million containers, a premium brand whose signature promise collapsed in federal court. And at number 1, the most beloved cat food brand in the country, whose parent company publicly admitted that forced labor existed in its seafood supply chain. Cats hide illness, it's how they're built, which means the food in that little can matters more than almost any other purchase you make, because by the time a cat shows you something is wrong, it's late. We're counting down 9 brands, then finishing with the 3 whose records actually held up. Everything comes from public records, on screen as we go. Let's open the first can. Number 9, EverPet. Dollar General's house brand, pet food priced like an impulse buy. Here's the economics question nobody asks in a dollar store. If the can costs $1, what does the food inside cost? After the retailer's margin, the can itself, the label, the shipping, what's left for the actual ingredients? That math has to land somewhere, and it lands in the recipe. In January 2017, EverPet canned cat food was pulled in a recall, alongside 2 other brands, all made by the same manufacturer, J.M. Smucker, for potentially low levels of thiamine, vitamin B1. To be fair and precise, no illnesses were reported, and the company called it precautionary after catching it in production records. But understand what thiamine means for a cat. Cats can't store it well and can't make it. Run low for a few weeks, and the FDA's own description of what follows reads like a horror script. Loss of appetite first, then the neurological stage, the neck bending downward, wobbling, circling, falling, seizures. The lesson of number 9 isn't that one lot ran low on a vitamin. It's that the same handful of factories make the dollar store can and the mid-shelf can, same systems, same failure points, and the cheapest label has the least room in its budget for the testing that catches mistakes. Number 8, Special Kitty, Walmart's cat brand, and a name that shows up in the wrong chapters of pet food history more than once. That same January 2017 thiamine recall, Special Kitty canned food was in it. Same manufacturer, same production issue, same vitamin A, cat's nervous system cannot live without. But Special Kitty's file goes back further to 2007, the melamine disaster we opened this video with. Special Kitty wet food was among the dozens of brands produced by that single contract manufacturer, Menu Foods. When the contamination hit, Walmart shoppers learned their house brand came off the same lines as food sold under premium labels, and that none of those labels had caught the poison ingredient coming in from the supply chain. 2 appearances in 2 of the industry's ugliest files. And the deeper issue is the same one we flagged with Walmart's dog brand in our last investigation. Private labels are opaque by design. The bag tells you who sells the food. It does not tell you who makes it, where, or alongside what. When trouble hits a contract plant, the store brand is always in the blast radius, and the shopper is always the last to know. Number 7, 9 Lives, Morris the cat, one of the most successful advertising mascots ever created. 50 years of America trusting an orange cartoon cat. 3rd brand in that 2017 thiamine recall. Same manufacturers, numbers 9 and 8, because by then, 9 Lives, EverPet, and Special Kitty can lines were all coming from the same corporate kitchen. 3 different brands, 1 recall notice. Read that again the next time the shelf looks like variety. And 9 Lives tells a second story, the brand pinball machine. This label has been passed between corporate owners repeatedly over the decades, most recently changing hands again when its parent sold off its pet portfolio. Every sale comes with the same quiet pressures: hit the price point, protect the margin, keep Morris smiling on the label. The mascot is the most stable thing about this brand. The recipe answers to whoever bought it last. Quick gut check. If your cat's brand has already appeared, that's exactly why this video exists. And stay with me, because the back half of this list is where the records get genuinely dark. A 60 million container catastrophe, a courtroom admission, and a number 1 that changed how I look at the entire cat food aisle. Number 6, Meow Mix, the taste cats ask for by name. What the jingle never mentions is the brand's own record. April 2021, 2 lots of Meow Mix Original Choice the 30-pound bag sold at Walmart in 8 states, recalled for potential salmonella. To be precise, that was the dry line, no illnesses were reported, and the company called it precautionary. So why does it matter in a wet food video? 2 reasons. First, salmonella in pet food isn't just a pet problem, it's a human one. You scoop that food, your kids touch that bowl. The FDA warns about exactly this. Second, a brand is a supply chain wearing a logo. The same company's quality systems stand behind the cups and cans with the same name. And Meow Mix has ridden the same ownership pinball as 9 Lives, traded between conglomerates as a portfolio asset in recent years. Ask yourself, when a brand changes hands for the 3rd time, who in that boardroom has ever opened one of these cups and looked at what's inside? Have you fed any of the brands so far? Name them in the comments. The pattern down there is always the same. I had no idea, and it's why this channel reads the recall records out loud. Number 5, Sheba, the little black tubs with the velvet marketing, perfection in a portion. Sheba is owned by Mars, so is Whiskas, so is Iams, so is Temptations. The treat brand cat owner's joke is cat crack. And here's the part almost nobody knows. Mars also owns some of the largest veterinary clinic chains in North America. The candy company quietly became one of the most powerful forces in pet care on earth. It makes the food, and in thousands of locations it also owns the exam room where you ask if the food is any good. Flip the Sheba tub over. In many classic varieties, the panel leads with meat byproducts and water. Species often unspecified, which matters because byproducts is a legal category, not a recipe. Check the tub in your hand. Formulas vary and change. Sheba's recall record, to be fair, has stayed comparatively quiet in the US. We'll always tell you when a brand's file is thin. It's on this list for the Gap. Luxury perfume advertising wrapped around commodity category ingredients, sold by a conglomerate that also owns the Second Opinion. That's not a scandal, it's a system, and you should at least know you're shopping inside it. Number 4, Iams. And this is the melamine chapter in full, because Iams cat food was one of the biggest names caught in it. March 2007. Menu Foods, a contract manufacturer most consumers had never heard of, recalls its cuts and gravy style wet foods after test animals and family pets begin dying of kidney failure. The recall swells to roughly 60 million cans and pouches across nearly 100 brand names, premium labels, store brands, Iams among the most prominent. All made in the same plants, all poisoned the same way. The cause, wheat gluten imported from China, spiked with melamine, an industrial chemical used in plastics, to fake higher protein readings on paper. Combined with a related compound, it crystallized in kidneys. Cats, smaller and more sensitive, died first and fastest. The FDA logged thousands of reports. Some published estimates of sickened and killed pets ran far higher, into the tens of thousands. Criminal cases followed against importers. The class action covering more than 24,000 pet owners settled for $24 million, which, divided out, tells you exactly what the legal system valued each family's loss at. Iams itself was a victim of its supplier in a legal sense, but that's precisely the point of putting it here. In 2007, Iams was the vet-trusted premium name, and its wet food still came off a shared contract line, fed by the cheapest ingredient bid on the global market. The brand has since changed corporate owners. It's Mars property now. The industry says it learned its lesson. The structure that caused it, shared plants, opaque sourcing, imported commodity inputs, is still the industry's skeleton today. 60 million containers, one factory network. That's not a recall. That's the industry showing you its blueprint. Number 3, Blue Buffalo. If you watched our dog food investigation, you know where this is going, but cat owners deserve the full story, because the promise printed on those cat food labels was the same one. No chicken or poultry byproduct meals, the true blue promise. In 2014, Purina sued Blue Buffalo with independent lab results, and in May 2015, Blue Buffalo acknowledged in federal court that a substantial and material portion of its products had contained poultry byproduct meal, the ingredient its marketing built an identity against. The company blamed a supplier's mislabeled shipments. That supplier later faced federal criminal charges. Blue Buffalo settled the consumer class action for $32 million, denying wrongdoing. Here's the cat aisle math. Blue Buffalo's wet cat food sold, and still sells, at a premium over brands that list byproducts honestly on the front. For years, shoppers paid that premium for a promise nobody was independently verifying. The betrayal isn't that byproduct meal is poison. It isn't. The betrayal is the invoice. You paid double specifically to avoid an ingredient that was, per the company's own court filing, substantially present. In 2018, General Mills bought the whole story for roughly $8 billion. The wolf on the dog bags, the lynx on the cat bags, Wilderness sold by the company that makes Lucky Charms. 2 brands left. The next one survived the worst headlines of the decade without most of its customers ever hearing them. And number 1 is the reason this video exists. Number 2, Friskies, the volume king of the cat aisle, the tower of cans in every cart, every shelter, every multi-cat home in America. Open the label on many classic Friskies pate varieties, and the first ingredients have long read, meat byproducts, water sufficient for processing, with the species of those byproducts often unspecified. Understand what that phrase legally is, a commodity category. Organs, frames, tissues, from whatever approved species hit the bid price that quarter. It can be nutritionally fine. Cats in the wild eat organs first, but can be fine and verified fine are different claims, and an unspecified species commodity gives you no way to know what changed batch to batch. The recipe floats on the commodity market, and the label is written so it never has to tell you. To be straight with you, Friskies' US recall file is comparatively quiet, no repeat of the disasters elsewhere on this list, and will never invent one. Friskies is here for scale plus opacity. When one brand feeds this many of America's cats, trust us, its byproducts, we won't say which, is not good enough, especially from Purina, a company that proves on its premium lines it knows exactly how to do rigorous, specified, feeding trial-tested nutrition. They can do better. On this label, they choose not to, because at this price point, the bid sheet writes the recipe. And that brings us to number 1, Friskies' own sibling, same parent company, very different file. Number 1, Fancy Feast, the tiny gourmet cans, the white Persian on the commercial. The brand cat owners treat as a small daily luxury the best-selling gourmet wet cat food in America. In 2015, human rights investigations tore the lid off the Thai seafood industry. Men trafficked onto fishing boats, held at sea, unpaid, beaten, some for years. The fish some of those boats hauled entered the supply chains, feeding global seafood processors. That year, consumers filed a class action in California federal court, alleging that fish in Fancy Feast connected back to that forced labor supply chain through Nestle's Thai partner. Now, the part we'll say with full precision because it matters, the lawsuit was dismissed. The court ruled in Nestle's favor on legal grounds under California's disclosure law. Nobody proved slave-caught fish in any specific can. But here's what makes this number 1 anyway. Nestle commissioned its own independent investigation of its Thai supply chain and then publicly admitted that forced labor and abuse were present among its Thai seafood suppliers. The company itself said it, not a blogger, not a plaintiff's lawyer. The parent company of Fancy Feast on the record acknowledging that the cheap seafood pipeline feeding its products included coerced human labor and pledging to clean it up. Sit with the whole picture. A $3 gourmet can, seafood sourced through one of the most abusive commodity chains on earth, by the company's own admission. Marketing built on a crystal goblet and a purring Persian. The gap between the story on the label and the record behind it, that gap is the entire reason this channel exists. Whether the supply chain is clean today is a question Nestle says it has worked on for a decade. You get to decide how much benefit of the doubt a decade buys, and whether the brand at the top of the gourmet shelf earned the trust it's charging you for. So what do you feed? Same 3 tests as always. Who formulates it? Is it feeding trial tested? What's the record? No sponsors here. None of these companies know this video exists. Safe pick number 3, Open Farm, the transparency pick, cat edition. Lot level ingredient tracing you can check yourself, published sourcing standards, including on seafood, which after number 1 should matter to you. You pay for that visibility. In this industry, visibility is the product. Safe pick number 2, Royal Canin, feeding trials, veterinary nutritionists on staff, company-owned plants, and a US recall record that has stayed remarkably clean for years. Check it on the FDA database yourself. It's public and it's rare. Yes, it's Mars, the same conglomerate we flagged at number 5. Same rule as always, judge the formula's record, not the logo. This is what the rigorous end of a conglomerate looks like. Safe pick number 1, Purina Pro Plan Wet. And yes, Purina lands on both ends of this video, exactly like it did in our dog investigation. And that's the thesis of this channel in one sentence. Companies don't have records, products do. ProPlan runs on PhD nutritionists, FECO feeding trials, Food fed to real cats under monitoring, not just formulated on paper, specified proteins, and owned manufacturing. The same corporation that won't tell you which species is in a Friskies can will tell you nearly everything about what's in ProPlant. Price buys process. On this shelf, the process is real. What the three have in common, one more time: staffed experts feeding trials, owned plants, traceable records, never the marketing, never the mascot, never the crystal goblet. Your three questions in the cat aisle, forever: who formulated this? Veterinary nutritionists or a brand team? Was it feeding trial tested or just formulated to meat? And what's the record? The FDA file, not the commercial. A cat will not tell you when something's wrong. The record will. Can't research 150 brands? We did. The pet food cheat sheet covers dog and cat formulas, recall histories, ingredient watch lists, and better options at every budget. Link in the description and pinned comment. Next investigation: dog treats, a $9 billion aisle with less regulation than the food, and the #1 brands file includes a word I never expected to read in an FDA document. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if someone you love has a cat bowl on their floor, send them this video. It's the cheapest protection their cat will ever get.